guys, I'm Lisa and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you a recent reads kind of video because I haven't filmed anything update recently. First up, I had a week where I didn't read very much, and I believe I haven't talked about both of these because I don't remember talking about both of these with my thoughts. And then I had a cat that needed a lot of attention because she has had to get eye drops, which is still the case, but it's looking a lot better. I still have to give her eye medication, but I'm hoping over the weekend that maybe it'll be the end of that. So over the last 3 weeks ish since I last updated, I have finished 4 audiobooks and 2 physical books. I made progress in a bunch of books as well. Sorry, I'm just eating candy. I know I shouldn't do this when I'm filming, but it's left over from yesterday when my sister was here, and we bought a whole lot of mix yourself kind of candy. So it's all kind of things that we all like. And I know that these candies is probably something that people outside of Denmark doesn't get, but isn't this just the quality content you're looking for? Anyway, I finished 4 audios and 2 physical books, and then actually 3. We'll talk about that later. First up, I finished When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey. I don't remember talking about this one. This is a young adult book. Don't do that. No! So I finished When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey. This is a young adult book. It follows these 6 different girls. They are very good friends, and our main character, I've currently forgotten her name, but she is at prom, and at prom she decides that she wants to have sex with this boy, and she ends up accidentally killing him with magic, not knowing what she's doing. And so she calls 911 to her friends who are also magical users and says, please come help me, I've done something and I don't know how to sort it out. And the book goes from there, and they sort of help each other out, or help her out with hiding the evidence, hiding the body, and trying to resurrect Josh, who is the boy who was accidentally murdered. And then things happen, and it explores their friendships and all of that very well. I overall enjoyed it. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't. I didn't enjoy this one as much as the previous book I read by Sarah Gailey. So I think I'm on about a 3 to 3.5 stars for this, but I definitely did enjoy it. It was fun and a nice read. Another book that I finished was Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chen. This is a non-fiction book, and it was really entertaining, insightful. That's what I want to say. A very important topic to me, and I definitely found myself in this, and I was very happy to see that. And it was very interesting reading, and the discussions that are, and some places I got really angered because of the things that people have been saying about people who are asexual or something like that. And yeah, but it was really interesting, and I definitely ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's very important to read it, even for people outside of the spectrum, to get an idea of what we think, like what we feel like, and trying to understand us, because we say we are asexual doesn't mean that we are aromantic, for instance, or there are so many things in that really spoke to me. So super happy I read this, and 5 stars for that. The next one I finished was The Wolf in the Whale by Jordana Max Brodsky. I think that's how you say it. This is a fantasy book set in a historical fantasy book, I believe, set in back in time. It follows this girl who is part of this clan, and she believes herself to be a boy. She goes for hunting, and she has the spirit of her grandfather in her, is what she believes. And this follows the Norse mythology aspects as well, and she meets these Norse people, and it's sort of partly set on Greenland as well, and Canada, and stuff like that. And it definitely takes a lot of Norse mythology characters into this. Odin, Loki, and Thor makes a good big presence in this, and it was okay. I didn't get completely invested in the story, but it was okay. It was interesting, and it's not like something else I've read, so in that way it did really well, but I didn't love it, so I end up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. And then because I wanted to finish, actually I should have talked about this one before, because I don't believe I finished A Wolf in the Whale before the end of the month, or I didn't. I think I was a couple of days into October when I finished it, but I did finish Lord of the Vampire by Gina Shuvalter, because I figured, what can I finish? What can I read? I felt like reading something, and I felt like reading something that I knew I could finish by the end of the month, because I was working on some bigger books and knew that I couldn't finish them. Hello, Nella. Hi. Want to be on the camera? Huh? No, we don't like being up here. Hi. Okay, ned med dig. Cat hair in my nose. So yeah, I ended up picking this one up because I knew I didn't have much time left in it. I was reading this for the category romance readathon back in June? When was it? June, I believe. And I was actually, I think, 75% into this book, but I hadn't finished it yet. And I knew that I could sit down and read this for a couple of days and definitely finish it on time. And so I decided to pick this one up. This one is following this girl who suddenly finds herself in a different person's body. And this man who is a vampire, who's a slave at this royal house thing. And our main female character is the persona of one of the princesses in this house, and she decides to free the slave and also kind of trying to escape herself. But then things happen, and yeah, I actually really ended up enjoying this one. It's not my favorite paranormal romance ever, but it was fun, and it was very quickly read, and yeah, I ended up giving this, I think, 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fun. So yeah, I was happy I was able to get this read in before the end of the month, and definitely did that. Next up, I actually finished, I went to the library and got a bunch of books about cats, because I'm a cat owner now, and I thought that I needed to know a little bit more about science and cats and in general. I mean, I know cats from my parents, but I've never been the one to actually raise them and trying to make them not do naughty stuff. I've tried some things with but I haven't been the main factor in that. So I ended up reading, this was a really quick read, it's called Why Does My Cat Do That? Which is by Catherine Davidson. This answers 50 questions from cat owners, and it's just super insightful. For instance, why does my kitten attack my ankles and bite me? She has never done that. Not yet, at least. So she doesn't attack my ankle, but she sometimes uses it as like a jumping off point. So that really hurts, especially when she's like really in a crazy zone kind of thing. I don't know what to call it, but sometimes you get in this zone, which is really just zooming around the house for a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes or something. She's all over the place, and then sometimes she jumps off me, or I'm in the way kind of thing. So, and she has her claws out constantly when she does that, so when she just jumps off me, I get scratchies on my feet, but otherwise she doesn't really scratch me intentionally. She has stopped because in the beginning she just, every time she like was relaxing, she was lying like this, you know, just out, in and out with the claws, and it just scratches you on your neck. And she's also stopped doing that a little bit less than she used to do. So that's just a kitten thing, I think. And then we have this. This is actually something I thought about, because my parents' cat does this. It says, why does my cat push the food out of the food tray? She doesn't push it out, but definitely with the dry pills, or dry, I don't know what you call it, dry food, she will scoop them up in her mouth, like a mouthful, and put them on the, it's on a tray. We have these 2 food trays, like, and then we have a tray that's on it because she is like a mess when she eats. And so she put that on the tray beside the food trays and would eat them from there. And I don't know why she does that, but apparently it could be that the food tray seems a little too small for her, but I don't think that's gonna change for her because it's only with the dry pills or dry foods she does this. She doesn't do it with the wet food or anything. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And then there was this, why does my cat play with her victims or her, yeah. When she catches a mouse or a bird or something outside, you definitely play with it for a while without killing it, so it would keep a cat or the mouse or something in misery. I've seen my parents' cat do this countless of time, and apparently it's not something that it thinks about. It's just, it says that the cat is not intentionally trying to practice a kind of evil. You'd think that with the way that she's acting, but it's an example of an instinct that has lived on from her when the cats were living wild. Funnily enough, this does not show with wild cat animals, only with rarely with farm cats. Only house cats does this to the victims. It would probably mean that they don't have enough possibilities to hunt, so when a house cat gets the claws into a living animal, it will naturally, it doesn't want to end the fight or the game too quickly, so that's why it actually plays around with the food. So apparently we should make it able to catch food more often. I don't know. But I definitely learned a lot about this, so it was fun, very insightful, and was very quickly read. I think it's only like 100 pages, 115 pages, and I read it in a couple of hours, I think maybe an hour and a half or something. Another book that I finished was Witchy Whiskers by Danielle Garrett. This is the first book in a cozy mystery series. It follows this girl who has this occult sort of magical shop where she sells these candles that can show you visions, or it like yeah, I think that's what it does. And then she gets this customer towards the end of the day. She's about to close the store, and he is looking for some candles and a candelabra for his mother, a gift for his mother, and she decides to sell him the candelabra and a couple of candles. But what happens is the next day, the customer's brother has been murdered, and has been murdered with the candelabra that was sold from her store to this man. So he is suddenly in for questioning, or he is the believed suspect for the brother's murder. But he claims that he's innocent, and she doesn't really get the vibe of a murder kind of person of him, so she decides to try and help him and figure out what could have happened, and so it goes from there. I end up enjoying this one quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. Also the cat Selena was super fun. It was talking and everything, so that was fun. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. It was very fun start to a cozy series, and I'm definitely going to try and then read on in the series. And lastly, I finished Back in the Texan's Bed by Naima Simone. This is the first book that I'm reading for my Harlequin romance project. I am currently working through some desire novels, and this is the first one I finished from that because it was the shortest of the bunch. I decided to go with that one to start out, and this one follows this girl who is a head chef at this new restaurant that has happened in Rusty, I think that's the town, and she has this 2-year-old son. And then we have a male lead who is the son of this, and his father is the owner of this big dynasty. He has a lot of money. He comes and also the son here has a lot of money, obviously, a lot of stuff. They had a thing when she was actually working in the kitchen at this ranch, big ranch, they had a sort of fling, and she ends up pregnant, and as ordered by the father of the son, the male lead, to get rid of the baby and stuff like that. She doesn't though, and she escapes the town and tries to raise the baby on her own, but when this opportunity of being the head chef at this restaurant pops up, she can't say no to it, and she goes back and tries to mend things with her own family and stuff. So that is where we start, and that is where, so obviously when he finds out that he has this son, he wants to get to know the son, he wants to be part of the son's life, and sort of suggests that they move in together. However, his dad is still believing that he should have nothing to do with that kid, because it will ruin the reputation, it will ruin him, because she is only there to get into his pocket of money. And obviously that's not the case, but that moves the plot forward. I overall had elements of this book that I really enjoyed. I think the female lead in this one was really excellent. I liked the fact that she was this head chef, and she was just confident in her own profession. She was a really good mother, and really liked that aspect of it. I also thought that our main character's way of dealing with this sort of in some places really worked for me, and I think that the way that he acted with the son was also really well told. However, the romance, I just didn't buy into it too much, and I think there was a little too many sex scenes for my personal enjoyment, which I know that the desire line is supposedly more steamy, but sometimes you can get steamy and not super many sex scenes. So I don't know. I end up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was my favorite, but I was definitely okay. My washing machine is done. So those were all of the things that I've been finishing over the past couple of weeks, and now I'm gonna be talking about the books that I am currently working on, because I also have a bunch of those. I'm buddy reading Night Embrace by Sherilyn Kenyon, and as you can tell, my cat likes to eat my books, so she's sort of been eating the corner of this book. So it's a good one. Good thing that it's this book and not the books that I've borrowed from the library that she's chewing on. Me and Shannon are working through this relatively slowly. We don't, personally, both of us don't really love this one super much. We've read the first 13 chapters, which has definitely been a bit of a challenge. I have about 130 pages left, but I can definitely tell now that this is definitely not gonna be my favorite. I think there's too many, again, there's way too many sex scenes, and it doesn't really move the plot forward at all. And and we have this, the main lead is, the female lead is an incarnation of his, the Dark Hunter's old wife from back in time. And so there's a lot of talk about how he looks at her, and then he sees his old wife and stuff. And it's a lot of, very annoying, and yeah, I don't know, not super enjoying this one. I'm also working my way through I Shall Wear Midnight by Terry Pratchett. This one I'm enjoying a whole lot more, and I am much further than this. I believe I've only have 20 minutes left of the audio, so I'm probably a lot closer to around here, but I haven't found the spot yet, so it's fine. But I'm really enjoying it, and Tiffany Aching has been visited by Granny Weatherwax and Nanny Ogg in this one, and I'm just super enjoying that element of it. It's so much fun, and I enjoy it. And she's also a suspect on a case, and so we have had Carrot, the detective from the Sidwatch, part of this, and it's been really fun. I'm enjoying it. Another book that I'm working on is that I have started on the next book in my Harlequin project. What was it again? Yeah, The Temporary Wife Temptation by J.C. Lee is the one I'm currently working on. I've just started it. It's the first book in the Heirs of Hansel, and it's following this man who is going to become new CEO at this big fashion company. He is half Korean and half American, I believe, or maybe he's just Korean. His grandmother has set him up to be married to this woman he doesn't really want to get married to. And so he's trying to find a wife figure to get married to, who would be a good asset to him and the company and everything. And then we find a girl who is the vice president of the human resources in this company, sort of a stand-in kind of when there's the one who is on sick leave. But then the job position opens up permanently, and she wants this job super bad. And but because of a family emergency thing, she's not able to take part in the interview to be able to get this position. So she is sort of on the hunt for Garrett, our male character, in order to try and ask him to make her vice president of this company. Now she has also recently lost her sister and her sister's husband in a car accident, and the sister's last wish was for her to take care of their baby. So she's fighting a custody battle with her sister's husband's grandparents, who wants to take this baby to New York with him, and they're currently living in LA. So already I'm enjoying this one more than the previous one, but I also just like the start of the other book, so we'll see. But I'm definitely enjoying this one so far. And then I am also working on some more cat books, because I mean, I would say this one is a DNF, but I've been looking through it, and it's just handbook. It's written by David Taylor, and there was just a section about it that was talking about the food and how that you should cook like curries and stuff for them. And I was like, what kind of cat owner cooks curries for their cats? I mean, seriously. But it did have a good section about the different breeds and stuff, and I looked through that, and it's a lot of fun reading about the different breeds. And my favorite has always been the Burman, because I think they're just so pretty. My sister has a ragdoll, which looks really similar to the Burman. At least hers does. It has like a black mask kind of thing. It looks a lot like this one in the corner, just a grown-up adult cat. Anyway, I like looking through it and stuff, but it wasn't my favorite. But I'm currently working through this one. I think it's a lot better. This is also a cat book, all you need to know about cats as a cat owner. And yeah, this is also just talking about the cat's how it's built, and how you should treat it, bones and structure and muscles and brain and hormones and nerve systems and stuff, all kinds of stuff, eyesight, hearing and balance and smell, taste, feelings, stuff like that. And then it also goes into choosing short-haired breeds or long-haired breeds, or breeding, like raising specific breeds, or getting a house cat like I have, with the good and bad things about that. This, in a perfect world, you read this before you actually decide to get the cat and figuring out what cat you need. But I just knew I was gonna get a house cat, and I got it from a Animal Protective Service because the thing is, if you get an adult cat from those places, it could be that the cat has some difficulties, and that is one of the reasons why it has been left at the shelter. It also could have been that someone has just left it outside, but over the past year, a lot of people have dropped kittens. So especially over the summer, there's a lot of kittens, and that's why I end up getting Nala a kitten from there, because I can get to raise her and make her the cat that I want her to be. And hopefully that works. But it's, again, there's a lot of talk about the different breeds and what's good for them, and what the struggles can be with them, and where they come from and stuff, health and sickness stuff. So this is a final section, so things you should look out for, I believe. So that's what I need to read, and then I'll finish this book. And it's been a insightful couple of books to read. So that is what I've been working on, and yeah, this is everything I want to talk to you about today. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on recently, if you have read any of the books that I've been talking about today. Yeah, this was everything. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.